Hello, everyone.
Hey, Ernie.
Hello.
Hey, Mike, do you want to give Walt a couple more minutes, or do you think we should begin? Hey, Mike, I don't know if you can hear me.
He's usually good about letting us know if he can't be here, right?
Yeah, and I've been emailing with him earlier, and he was responding and whatnot. So
Okay.
maybe I'll just give him a couple more minutes, and then if you're good with that, Mike, we'll go ahead and start. But just give him a couple more minutes to come on. We'll give him a couple more minutes.
We can see Mike's tablet, but not Mike.
I agree with you. I think we're licensed at Tim Oliver's through GoToMeetings or whatever it is.
Hey, Melissa, it's George. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
All right, so we had some technical difficulties here at the district office. We're trying to get logged back in, and we have Walt on the phone. We're trying to get him logged in as well. So let's just give it a couple of minutes if we can.
Yeah, sure. Okay. That sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
You hear that, Walt? Walt, you still there?
Do you want me to send Walt the same?
No, we
Melissa? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, okay. Hi, this is Craig. I hung up on you.
I think you guys have a couple things connected.
I just closed it out, so we should be good now.
Okay, yep, I can hear you. Yep.
And Walt should be joining us in a minute.
Yeah, Walt's on his way. He'll be here any second.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's right.
All right, buddy. No problem. Bye.
There he is.
Damn. No.
Hey, Walt.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Good, how are you?
Better now.
Gotta love technical difficulties. All right, so whenever you are ready.
All right, we'll do it right now.
All right.
Okay, I'll bring to order the February 9th, 2022 virtual CTST meeting. And we will begin with item number 1, a welcome and introductions. And Melissa, did you want to read off names? Would that be the easiest?
Yep, that sounds good. So hey, everybody.
All right.
I'm Melissa with JMT. And then we'll go to Walt, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yep, Walt Eastman, Citrus County Engineering.
Thank you. All right, Mike Zen and your crew with you guys.
Yeah, I'm Mike Zen, the Florida Department of Transportation Traffic Safety, your CTST Program Manager.
George Edmiston, finish, and I'm the District 7 Safety Consultant.
Craig Allred, GMT.
Thank you, guys. All right, Peter Shue. He's on the line. Jim.
Yeah, Jim's here.
Thanks, Jim. Laura Anstead.
Where is one today? Citrus County Sheriff's Office.
All right, well, Laura is on. Oh, there she is.
Oh, sorry. I had a small microphone issue. Hi, everybody. Sergeant Anstead here.
Thank you. All right, Harry.
Harry Vandenberg.
Thank you. All right, Bala.
Bala Padmanabhan, Bala Consulting Services, Safety Ambassador.
Thank you. Casey.
Casey Dagenhart with Hernando Citrus MPO.
Thank you. Lori.
Lori Paleo, JMT.
Thank you. Ernie.
Hernando County Engineering.
Thanks, Ernie. David Carr.
Dave Carr's here. Beautiful downtown Ridge Manor, Florida.
Thank you. Nicholas Dolan.
Nicholas Dolan, Lieutenant Florida Highway Patrol, covering Hernando, Sumter, and Citrus.
Thank you. Brenton Mosier.
Brenton Mosier, USF Cutter.
Thank you. Chris Ball.
Lieutenant Chris Ball, Citrus County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you. John Novi. All right, well, he is on the call today. Karen Cobb. And Karen is on the call today. They just might have been pulled away. All right, is there anyone that I did not call that is on the call today? Okay, I think we're good, Walt.
All right, thank you so much. And I want to thank everyone and welcome everyone. A great, diverse crowd we have. So thank you very much for attending. All right, with that, we'll move on to item number 2. Review and approval of the January 2022 minutes. Has everyone reviewed? Anyone have comments?
Well, this is Harry.
Hearing none, could I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Who's Ernie?
Ernie, okay, if you could please state your name with a motion at seconds. Thank you, Ernie. Can I get a second?
Casey Dagenhart, I'll second.
Thanks, Casey. And rather than trying to go through all in favor, I'll just ask if anyone has opposed or is opposed. Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 3, old business.
Hey, Walt, can I just say that for the record, the meeting is being recorded, and if you are not speaking, please mute your phone so that there's no interference.
Good point. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Item 3, old business. We'll move on to the problem location sheet. And we'll begin with number 1, Powell Road, Silver Ridge Boulevard.
All right, this is Ernie. That one there is, like I said, plans are being developed and it should be hopefully start here over the next year.
Very good. And I see by our notes, since it is in production, we're going to go ahead and take this item off of tracking. Okay, so Melissa, next time you can delete this one from our tracking list. All right, number 2, Forest Oaks at Deltona.
This is Ernie again. We still have not received any information from Hernando County School Board Traffic Department. Either we can continue or we can take it off the list until they bring it back later on.
We can do that as well. I mean, if they don't seem to, they're the ones who raised the issue to begin with. I remember Steve bringing that up back when. But it doesn't seem to be an issue for those folks any longer. I certainly have no objection about removing it next time. And if it is an issue, you're right, Ernie, they'll bring it back.
Yep.
Number 3, 41491. Again, we'll just continue to track this one. We'll wait for population and numbers to come back. Number 4, Coronado Drive, J.D. Floyd.
That's Ernie again. We have still not received any information from our consultant. I tried to call him yesterday to try to get an update from him. I would say we'll leave it up on one more time. I know the biggest problem is the queuing out there with schools. So I know the law enforcement is aware of the speeding issues.
Can I tell you what Scott said at our last MPO meeting?
Sure.
He said that Public Works wasn't going to do anything. They were going to let the school take the point since they were, since it's school property and all of that. And the problem is with the school, it's not with the roads. So I think he said he was going to wait for their queue and their information before Public Works does something or makes a move on it.
Right.
Casey, for the record, Casey, was that Scott Herring?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yep. And with that in mind, we may want to just annotate that in the notes, Melissa, that Hernando County this issue's been moved over to the Hernando County School Board to address. And same type of thing, that being the case, I don't know that we need to track it now that it's in their hands. I'm sure if they need assistance from Hernando County Engineering or Public Works, I'm sure they'll reach out to you folks. I know Scott offered that at that same MPO meeting, that if they needed any technical assistance, that he and his folks would be happy to help. So, okay. All right, number 5, Good Neighbor Trail.
This one here still have not got an update. I am going out there on Friday to, well, that'll be the next one for the, yeah, I still got no change on this one.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Number 6.
Hey, Walt.
Yes?
Sorry, I didn't hear what Ernie was saying. It sounded kind of muffled.
He had no update on that one yet. No additional information. Number 6, with the Coochie State Trail, Independence Highway Crossing.
This is Jim.
Yes, Jim.
I was out there and checked that again on Saturday, and we have a sign on the south side of Independence for users. It's a R9-5. Says use pedestrian signal with a bicycle on top of it. And I think we need to put the same thing on the north side for southbound riders. For some reason, they only put one of those signs down there, and it's on for the northbound riders, nothing for southbound riders. That's all I have on that. We could get, I don't know, the county could do that, or DOT could do it, or whoever could do it. One of those signs. And then Laura hasn't put the signboards down there yet, or at least I haven't seen them. She may be able to answer that. So, to warn users.
Yeah,
Is that
so we ended up needing to utilize our signs down with our geofencing at Cardinal and 19. So that's going to take my 2 main message boards kind of out of the loop until we finish up with that geofence. I am anticipating taking possession of 2 new message boards. I'm just kind of at the mercy of production. I will get a message board over there as soon as I get one that is freed up and available. However, I haven't noticed any increase or attention in that area in reference to vehicle or pedestrian or bicycle crashes that I'm aware of that has become obvious.
That's true, Laura. There hasn't been anything up there that I've been aware of.
Yeah, we do seem to be, I believe, with the increase there with the lighting changes and what we've done around there, we've seen a significant improvement at that intersection. I do agree with Jim, however, having another one of those signs put up for the opposite direction, I think would be a phenomenal addition and only help make that much better.
Mike, is that something that you can kind of replicate? You did it on the south side. Can you do it on the north side?
It was Citrus County Sheriff's Office was providing those signs, Walt.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No, I think he's talking about the hard signs, the permanent mounted signs.
Okay,
Yeah, the signs we were doing were the portable message boards, the trailers that we have.
That's right, Laura. The sign I'm referring to, Mike, is an R9-5.
And you need them on the north side?
Just on the north side, yes. There's nothing up there. One on the south side going north, but there's nothing on the north side coming south. And there's a easy place to park it, put it up there. So something like that could be put in. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll get it turned in. Thank you.
Thank you. And Laura, there's no, maybe we'll study that a little further before we go ahead and put signs up there.
Okay, Jim. Yeah, no, that's good. That'll help out on our end. If it's not a huge need for it, I've kind of got a couple areas that we're working right now with our pedestrian and fatality or our pedestrian bicycle issues that we got going on, that those message boards can be used.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
All right. And moving on to number 7, a good neighbor prayer.
Well, this is Harry.
Yes, Harry.
So last month, Mike said that he would check on the computer problem because that's the heart of this whole issue. So Mike was going to have an update for this meeting.
Oh yeah, see that here. Yep, the chip shortage.
Yeah, the signal guys have been busy doing the LPI, so they've been kind of tied up. I'll have to check their schedules and see where they're at. Right now, I don't know where they're at. But they've implemented over 600 LPIs, Harry. So, Harry, I don't control their schedule. All I do is ask them, and they'll do it. They'll put it in their schedule. But the LPIs have had a lot going on right now with the LPIs.
No. The question is, the district was going to order a new computer. So the question, and I have repeatedly been asking this month after month, when
and Harry, that still comes from the signal people. I don't know what their schedule is or if they even got it in. I know they've just been tied up. I don't know if anybody else online has any more information than what I just gave you, but that's what I've got right now.
But the question is there a computer on order?
Harry, I just told you, I don't have that information. I don't know yet.
You are going to have that information this month.
And I just said, all those guys that take care of that have been tied up doing LPIs. I haven't had a chance to catch up with them.
Okay. What are
Their
we
priorities right now, Harry, has been doing LPIs.
I see. I got it. Got it.
Okay. Number 7. Good neighbor. Ernie, you have anything for us on a Good Neighbor Trail?
I am planning on heading out on Friday to take a look to see if the service requests have been completed yet or not. I've been lately on the other side of the county or other things going on, but I'll get out there on Friday and take a look at it. So look, see.
Okay. Okay. So no update on this one just yet, but you'll be checking on it. All right. Very good. Number 8, US 41 Croom Road.
That one there.
That one also says it'll be removed for the next meeting. So no update on that, Ernie. Melissa will just take it off next time.
That'll work.
Okay. Number 9, construction on SR 50, 75 to 301.
Dave Carr's got some good news on that one.
Well, so far the good news is, can you hear me? This is Dave. So far the good news is that the wall has been completely demolished. And
tear down that wall.
They have torn down the wall. The existing drains that were there, it kind of looks right now like they're turning those into catch basins, and seem to have, that looks like they have and are in the process of regrading the median so that it slopes toward the catch basin, so the water will go into the basins as should be. And it has completely opened up the sight distance in the area, and it's starting to look pretty good.
Okay. With that in mind, Dave, is it safe to say we can take this off for the next one, or do we need to continue to track it?
I would like to keep it on here one more month, just in case, because we haven't been able to see what's yet to come to take the place of the wall.
Okay.
Do you agree with that, Mike?
They'll put up a fence.
Yeah, they're technically they're not going to do anything. They're going to tow in because of the super elevation on the curve. They're going to tow in into that ditch pavement that you're talking about with the catch basins.
Right.
But like I kind of concur with David that it wouldn't hurt just leave it there for another month, and if nothing's happened, then Melissa can, by all means, let's move this one off.
Sounds like a plan.
So that's a hooray for CTST for bringing that one in.
I'm seeing here in the chat, going back to the other comment, it looks like Peter says, Peter was told computer equipment was ordered. I'm not sure.
This is Harry. Okay, thank you. That was my question. Thank you.
Harry, I'm assuming that's what Peter's referring to. He doesn't say.
Yeah, I assume the same thing, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to number 10, 19 Cardinal Street. Mike, you have anything for us on 19 and Cardinal, or?
Yeah, between Lieutenant Ball and Laura, I mean, they're working the speed detail out there as well as pedestrian and bicycle safety, as far as I know. It is geofenced currently, and we are running that campaign, and I've been keeping the Lieutenant and Laura up to date with motorist comments on that program. So, Laura, you want to add anything?
Yeah, we got the motorist comments yesterday. which are pretty interesting to read if you got the chance. But we put our message boards up, noting the area. Geofencing seems to be working very well. We worked our 8-hour traffic detail. It was very successful, got some good visibility out there. Lots of infractions, and that is a regular area that my traffic guys are working. It's become part of our standard procedure out there while we're going through this geofencing, so we can get a good idea after the geofencing is done of how much of a change that we've made out there. So that area is just kind of going to stay open. I know it's not really an area that we're going to let slip just because of all the construction that's going on and the continued attention that's going to be needed out there. I know we've got this geofencing set. We're going to give it a small break, and then we have another plan in the second quarter to do another geofencing out there. So this is going to be a regular issue for us until at least we get the construction done out there and get traffic back to, I guess, the best kind of norm that we could possibly expect out there. This is going to be a continued area just because the amount of traffic coming through. It's a major artery.
Kudos.
And Laura, just so you know, Lieutenant Dolan from the FHP is online, and I informed him and the new captain out there of your details. So, and I think Lieutenant Dolan, he committed to do whatever help he can when he can out that direction. Is that true, LT?
Yes, that's correct. If we can get together, Lieutenant, with the Sheriff's Office, and we'll try and coordinate our people to do the details together. We've been trying to focus on those hot spots, but anything we can do to help out will definitely help.
LT, I think I still have your email address. I'll shoot you an email sometime this week, get you some more details when we're going to be out there again, and we'll get everybody synced up together.
Outstanding. That sounds great. I appreciate it.
Well, that's fantastic. That's kudos to everyone involved in that one. Again, CTST bringing that one around, and of course, law enforcement side making it all work. So thank you all very much. And to that note, we'll go on to number 11, which is Black Diamond, 491 near Black Diamond. And again, Sergeant Anstead helped out. I've seen the message boards up there. I'm hopeful that they're helping. It certainly brings everyone's attention that there is a speed limit out there, and to please watch what you're driving. So to that end, whenever it's convenient for you, Deputy, if you want to pull those signs, it's up to you. But again, I thank you very much for all of your assistance and your help.
Yeah, that message board up there seems to be getting some attention. I've gotten some really good feedback on it. So I've kind of added that location to my future recurring list, and I'll routinely take it out there and put it up for a week at a time. I'm anticipating moving that by the end of this week and deploying it somewhere else.
Very good. Again, thank you very much and appreciate the continued attention.
Absolutely.
Number 12, State Road 50 widening east of the county.
This is Dave Carr.
Oh, yeah.
Mike and I went out and we got a smart level, and we drove and walked some of the sidewalk areas that looked to be suspect, and discovered that they are all within ADA compliance. One was pretty close to not being in compliance, but it is. We also looked at some of the guardrail that was out there near 50 and Olancha Drive, and found it is now also in compliance. So just kind of keeping an eye on things, making sure that they're being put in correctly, so it doesn't have a safety hazard out there for anybody. Sure. Now is the time to do it, is while they're putting it up, not after. So
absolutely.
So we found everything to be in compliance. I believe Mike can tell us about the bridge deck. I think he said that they were going to grind the bridge deck, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. I remember correctly. Mike?
Well, yeah, I didn't say they were going to, but that's in their scope to do that if it needs to be done. So when they do the punch list on that, when they get ready to do a final on that job, that's when it'll get discovered. And in my opinion, and one of the other people that's gone out there, they think that's probably what's going to have to happen.
Right. Well, that's good.
Right. So we don't know if it'll happen or not, but that's where it's heading, in that direction. So it's still ways off for that to come to light.
Okay. Well, again, Dave and Michael asked the question, is this resolved? We can take this off next time, or you want to continue to carry it?
Yeah, we can take it off, and then that way, if we can always bring it back if, you know, they wrap things up and they haven't done what they need to do to the bridge deck.
Very good. Okay. Number 13, Mariner Northcliffe.
Again, I was through that intersection yesterday. There are still no guide skips coming off of Northcliffe moving north onto Mariner. And it is a dual left turn lane. Maybe Ernie could take a look at it or give us some idea about when we might see some new guide skips in there.
I think this may have been added on when Ernie was not present out of last couple of meetings.
That's true.
To Ernie.
This is Ernie. I will look into it and let you know next month what's going on with it.
Okay, because there are guide skips if you're coming out of that private shopping center to go south on Mariner, but there are none from Northcliffe onto Mariner.
Okay.
I'm surprised there's not a lot of people swapping paint out there.
If I might, this is Casey, if I might ask, what are guide skips?
Guide skips are the little dotted lines that cross the intersection that help guide cars in the proper direction and allow them not to make contact with each other as they turn side by side in a leftward movement.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think that completes our old business, and we can move on to item number.
Well, this is Harry.
Yeah.
I would like to discuss the Crosstown Trail and US 19 crossing in Crystal River. Would you like me to bring this up now, or should we just wait till the new business segment?
Yeah, let's wait till the new business, Harry, since it wasn't on the current list, just to keep the minutes clean.
Okay, fine. We'll do that. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, sir. Calendar updates, activity reports. Anything to add from the folks? I don't know if Mike is still there. Mike, if you have any calendar updates, or if anyone.
I don't have anything. You know, typically February is a very quiet month.
Okay.
I think, Brenton, are you still online?
Yes, sir.
I think Brenton has probably a couple things he could add for Cutter.
Our things are, let's see, we have, the March is bike month, so we will have some stuff coming up for that. We have, and if you guys have any events that you would like us to have a presence at, please let me know. We have our Love to Ride challenge, which is going on from March 1st to March 31st. We have one of our meetings tomorrow with law enforcement officers from a project we're working on. And we are trying to think of what else. I think that is all I have for this region.
Okay. Anyone else?
Very quiet.
Well, that's all right. With that, move on to item number 5, Safe Route to School update. I don't really have anything new on my end other than Turkey Oak is getting close to wrapping up. I saw a tentative walkthrough date with Austin out there, and Forest Ridge is still underway. Dave Hoover and those folks are out there working on Forest Ridge, so I don't have anything new on that.
When is the tentative opening date?
Mike, without pulling up my calendar, I don't know for sure. It's a final walkthrough. It's coming up in about a week or so, if I recall.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, we will now move on to new business, item 6. I know Harry's got an item for us, so we'll start with that one.
Okay, thank you, Walt. So, Melissa, would you be able to show the satellite view of that area that I plan to discuss? Yeah, thank you. So when I read the information in the December minutes about the City of Crystal River's request for RFBs at this crossing, I knew nothing about the trail or why the city is requesting them at that point in time. However, when I looked at the crossing using the Google Maps, the reason for the request became obvious. I considered from the perspective of my wife and I riding that trail on our tandem, which incidentally is just over 10 feet long, while some people on single bikes might try to cross that road in a two-stage crossing, waiting in the center turn lane for a gap. That's simply not an option for us. Considering the speed and volume of traffic, it's impossible for us to find a gap, and it would be for the vast majority of people biking or walking. So we've been in that predicament many times before, and it's very disconcerting, especially if I don't know the surrounding area or traffic patterns. So RFBs are a proven countermeasure for that type of crossing. So I knew that for us, they would change it from a roadblock to an inconvenience. However, the crossing would still be hazardous. According to the minutes from the December meeting, the group told the city that it recommended first reducing speeds before looking at RFBs. But this is not a city street, and the minutes did not note that the district should have first reduced speeds, nor what it considered to be a safe speed. So from my perspective, the CTST was not helpful in this situation at all. So recently I talked with Kevin Lemieux from Crystal River, and he explained that the city is working on completing a non-motorized corridor between the Three Sisters Spring Park to the south and a new parking lot the city plans to construct in a park to the north. Most of the trail is already in place, and it is looking for funding for the remaining section. The problem for trail users is the motorized traffic on US 19 that threatens the safety of anyone who wants to walk or bike between those two destinations. Melissa, could you show the street view of that crossing, please? Yeah, thank you. So if you look closely, as a southbound trail user approaches a highway, they face this stop sign and also a regulatory sign below it that reads, "Stop, proceed to stop light for crossing," with an arrow pointing to the left. I assume the sign facing northbound trail users is the same, with the arrow facing the opposite direction, of course. Because this is a regulatory sign, it appears to me that trail users are legally forbidden from crossing here, even if they yield to traffic on the roadway and if they deem it to be safe. So the sign requires them to use a sidewalk, which is clearly designed only for foot traffic. So officials appear to be forcing bicyclists to ride on a facility that was not designed for bicycle traffic. And I can tell you from my experience that my wife and I would find it very difficult to navigate our tandem through the nearby signalized crossing as directed to by that sign. So it seems to me that there's only two logical options here: construct a shared use path on both sides of US 19 and redesign the crossing at the signalized intersection for bicyclists, or to install a crosswalk with RFBs or hybrid beacons. I discussed some of that last month. I'm asking the team to discuss these options and make a recommendation to the city and to the district. Thank you.
Well, Harry, I don't know if you can see some of the chat, but Peter Shue is chiming in, basically saying that, well, two things. There's a couple of comments here. One, the DOT TEM, Traffic Engineering Manual, Section 5.2, discusses criteria for the flashing beacons. And first of all, RFBs cannot be used along US 19. That's the first comment. Second comment goes along with what I had mentioned at the last CTST meeting, and that is DOT with the Hernando Citrus MPO. The MPO has taken on, I believe it's almost like a, Casey, correct me if I'm wrong, like a $250,000 study for the city involving downtown US 1944. Is that correct? So Harry, that, like I mentioned last time, these things are being looked at holistically. $250,000 worth of studies being undertaken Yeah, the MPO, Peter goes on to say, the MPO has hired a consultant to suggest lots of improvement ideas. So anyway, there's a bigger movement, if you will, to this whole thing. But your comments are appreciated. We get it.
Okay, I'm not quite understanding because I don't know what some of this consultant is looking at. But so again, the city asked the CTST for help with this.
Yeah. The city manager and the board, the mayor and the city board, they're trying to, I guess, the only way to kind of paraphrase what they're trying to do is create a downtown feel, so to speak, on US 19 and 44. And by doing that, they want to redirect traffic utilizing Turkey Oak. So Turkey Oak would be like a new state road. They'd widen it out and do whatever improvements are needed to direct traffic to Turkey Oak. So that would be the main artery, so that the city could then make modifications to 19 and 44 to make it almost like walkable, if you will. I think that's their ultimate goal to that effect. Casey, please feel free to chime in.
That's my understanding. We're getting our consultant $250,000 study to do the Turkey Oak bypass to determine how traffic can be routed around the city of Crystal River instead of dumping all of the traffic down in the middle of downtown. They will be looking at bike trails, bike paths along the corridor, as all FDOT projects do now. I don't know offhand how far we are into that. If we have started it yet, it has just been started.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
But we can continue. I can provide an update as we get information if you all would like to. If you all would like me to.
Sure, and Harry, to that end, the city on their own, they did a series of charrettes. I'm going to say about a year ago, with different ideas, concepts, things of that nature about their view. So, like I said, we appreciate this issue you're bringing up, but this is like a tip of the overall iceberg of what the city is trying to undertake.
Okay, is there somebody that can send me some information on that so I can get a picture for myself? Because I don't really know the area. I know what bicyclists are going to face when they try to cross that road, and so if somebody's talking 7 years, 10 years down the road, what are they going to do in the meantime? Because people are going to want to cross that road. So if it's simply telling people to tell bicyclists to ride on a sidewalk, is that what the CTST is saying? I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah, no, like I said, the city is looking, as I mentioned, I don't want to burn up everyone's time here in the same thing again, but they're looking at doing a more downtown walkable type of approach. As far as what things look like, I don't have anything from when the city did their charrettes. You may find something online, I don't know. You may contact the city, because they like I said, they did this whole what I would say, they did this whole concept plan, if you will, where they reached out to the public for comments and input, and it had these different thoughts of what they were looking to do. So someone at the city may still have that data. As far as the MPO,
I'm sorry, well, Peter actually just posted a link directly to the PDF, which we can forward to Harry if he would like.
Is that the city charrette stuff? Or
Congestion management process, Crystal River congestion management study done in May 2017.
Okay, that's not the same thing.
Okay.
But there again, though, Harry, there you go. There's some more information. So there's this 2017 study that was done. There's this charrette that the city took on themselves for a downtown.
Yeah, I do remember that one. I thought that was strictly on 44.
Oh, no, they're looking at both. They're trying to look at both roads, 19 and 44.
Okay. I'll get back with the city, but if anybody else has any, specific information that I could look at, I would certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, I know from the, as Casey mentioned, from the MPO, it's just literally just getting started.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, any other new business?
This is Dave Carr.
Hey, Dave.
I just can't help but looking at this last picture that was just before you changed it. Somebody might want to get a hold of the contractor who's in charge of taking care of US 19 through Citrus County and get them to clean up that mess on that sidewalk right there before somebody trips, falls, and breaks their butt.
It's true.
I mean, is that all rock and gravel laying there? Is that what that is?
Can't tell.
We don't know if that's the current state of it either.
It looks like it. It looks like there's no pavement right there.
That's
this is
that's an issue.
Yeah, this is Harry. When I zoomed in on the satellite view, it looks to me that the pavement has been replaced there, that there's new concrete there. I'm not sure when the Google car took this picture. I think it was maybe a little while ago. But the satellite view seemed to show new pavement there.
Okay, so you didn't just recently take this picture, Harry?
No, this is actually a screen capture from the Google satellite or the Google Street View.
It could be a couple years old. Okay, very good.
Okay. So I didn't mean to imply that I had taken that picture. I'm sorry.
No, okay. Good.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Any other new business?
Okay, so Sergeant Anstead, I know that Highway 44 and the intersection of Main Street and downtown Inverness has been of significant issue in the past, and they are working on hopefully eventually getting that second lane that turns out 44 to go to 75. Are you with me so far?
Yes, ma'am.
I remember Mike talking about DOT possibly adding a receiving lane, if I recall.
Yes, and that will significantly help the traffic traveling down Main Street that travels out to 44 to go out to 75. What continues to be an issue at that intersection is if you are on 41 South traveling north, as you approach the intersection, there is a left turn lane that goes to Highland Avenue. That left turn lane, that intersection continues to be a crash haven. And we've made improvements and they've increased visibility, they've increased walkways. Now the issue that we're running into is that drivers are confused by the traffic lights just on the 41 side of that intersection. The main issue we're having is the traffic that is turning left to go on to Highland Avenue. They're getting confused by that light because it's not an arrow. All it is a solid green, and all of the lights turn solid green at the same time. And yes, all of us in the traffic safety world understand that the solid green means you have to yield to traffic. However, Citrus County is a significantly elderly population. A lot of them don't know it. They don't understand it. They don't check social media. They don't stay up with these things. And these are where we're running into issues there. So what do we need to do to get some kind of study done or an assessment or something to possibly get a left turn only arrow put in there so that there is no option for them to violate the right of way by turning into oncoming traffic?
So what you're looking for is a warrant to see if there's enough traffic for a protected left.
Correct. I really truly think a protected left and arrow only. I know that there's all kinds of options where it goes from the arrow, then it turns yellow, and then it'll go to a solid green. But honestly, that solid green at that intersection is causing a significant problem for that turn lane. If it was arrow only, to where it was just green, yellow, and red, and they can only turn on the green arrow, I truly believe that would increase the safety and reduce a lot of the accidents that we're seeing there.
Mike, is that something that
Yeah, let me ask again, just to make sure, because I was still writing on the first one she mentioned at 44 in Maine. This one's at 41 in Highland?
So it's the same. So it's the same intersection. If you're traveling south, you're on Main Street and it makes the left to go out to 44. That is the intersection where 4 roads in our county kind of collide.
Yeah.
Main Street
Yep.
comes to an end, and if you travel straight through the intersection, that's where it turns into 41. The opposite roadway is 44. That's where 44 ends, and if you go
Is this
through
where, is this where
44,
Luigi's is at? Is this where Heidi's restaurant
yes.
is? That in?
No.
No.
This is where the Burger King and Big Lots and Winn-Dixie and McDonald's.
Okay. All right. I'm at the wrong side of town.
Yep, it's that intersection.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the,
down, I know where.
you know where you're
Okay.
at?
Yeah, I've got it straight in my head. I'm looking here. I shouldn't be any problem getting a warrant for that, but they will be, you know, it hadn't been, it's still in design, that whole section from 44. So what I'll do is Bala and whoever, I'll get somebody to get out there and do a signal warrant on it.
Hey,
For a
Mike.
protected left. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, Peter just chimed in, and he said that D7 Safety Office is conducting a district-wide signalized intersections to use protected only left turn signals. He said that they can place this intersection in a higher priority.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be wonderful, because we just had another serious crash out there last week from the south side at 41 making the left onto Highland Avenue, and there's a light there now. So that lane, that turn lane has a light. It's just a solid green. And if it were only an arrow, I think it would completely change that intersection.
So there you go, Peter.
Okay.
Yeah, if you folks can help us out with that, we'd appreciate that.
Hey, this is Jim. I know the intersection that Laura's talking about, and what would concern me down there is if they were to put, instead of a solid, just a red arrow, only go on red, but then it goes to flashing yellow, like some other intersections in downtown Inverness are, that may still create a problem.
Yeah, I think Sergeant Ansett is saying that they're looking for a protected left. So it'd stay green for that movement. And then I guess DOT would have to look to see if they're going to do the permissive flashing yellow or not. They'll have to look at that.
I would really hope we did not do, I would try my best to convince them not to go to the flashing yellow at that intersection.
Okay, so
I think that would just,
that
would be just as bad.
I have to agree, because that would cause a lot of confusion right there, especially when you got a bunch of cars that are stacked up in the left turn lane for 44. May cause a problem.
I think just so you know, it depends on the queuing, how much queuing's in that lane, whether they do a solid red, ball to keep them from turning left, which is your protected left, or put the flashing yellow. So I think it will, some of the facts when you do a warrant will depend on the queuing out there.
Okay, well, very good. Well, okay, let's see what Peter says. FDOT signal safety expert will visit the county in next 2 weeks for additional LPI work. Mark Hall can work with Walt for teamwork for this location. Yep, we have an excellent signal shop. Yep, definitely, Peter. Have Mark get in touch with David in traffic control if we need to help. Absolutely. Yep. And just to backtrack a little bit, Peter, since we have you on the line, it's been on our list for a while to create a left turn phase at 491 and 41. Will you all be looking at that intersection as well? Because it's been on our list for a while. That's one where traffic shortcuts through the community and they skip past that signal because they can't get a break in traffic.
And great question. Marco called me 2 days ago. He said, Peter, I'm coming to Citrus County probably in 10 days. And he said, am I okay? Yeah, I said, do whatever Citrus County wants. The first thing, LPI. So I will tell him those 2 locations. But I will ask him to work with you and your David together.
Okay, yeah, if you could have them specifically look at that left turn phase. There's not one there today. Left turn if you're northbound or 491 to northbound 41. That's the issue. The southbound traffic is so heavy on 491, you just cannot get a break to make the left onto 41.
Yeah, well, can you do me a favor? Your day know Marco very well, and your day is much younger than Marco too. I will remind Mark, but can you also ask your day to remind Mark when they are out in the field to work on LPI? Can they stop by those both locations, take a look?
Yep, and it's item
Well,
number
this
3.
is one, yeah. To make sure I'm clear in my head where it is, this is the one that's out there by the bowling alley out there off of 491 and 44?
That's the shortcut that they go through. Yeah, but if you know
Correct,
where
yep.
you know where Snow's
Yeah, all
Market
right.
is?
Yeah, that's the right intersection. I was just trying to picture in my head where it was in case somebody asked.
Yeah, there was an Italian restaurant on the corner. Snow's Market
Correct.
is south of it. Yep,
Yeah, okay, I got the right one in my head.
good deal. Thank you.
Texaco station in this corner.
Okay. Anyone else have any new business or new issues? If not, I do have one I'd like to raise myself.
Walt, this is Jim.
Yes, Jim.
Some time ago, we talked about putting a left turn on 44 west of the Lowe's department. Whatever happened to that project?
I know DOT is working on that. Peter's on the line. I don't know if he can give us an update, or Mike, if he can give us an update.
Yeah, Jim, and what are you talking about? The one on Walmart?
Yeah,
yes.
The one by Top Drive. Yeah.
Yes.
Just west of Lowe's.
Yeah, just west the low and the left turn bay. Yeah, I think the guy I worked with, he decided to retire 5 months ago, and later really he did not report to me, but I tried to help his group to do something too. And basically, long story short, I work with a big boss, county administrator, say, hey, this is really related to private development. I asked county, can they donate some money, because it's the issues generated by private development. And when DOT do those, DOT receive nothing from any private development impact fee. So later, company administrator is very nice, say, sorry, Peter, no money. So, so we tried to scratch our head to find the money. I think the cost estimate to build that left turn bay is around $300,000. So, yeah, so that's something is I will help to remind my other group teammate. She knows Citrus County very well, called Joellen Godfrey. Ward, you probably remember her. Oh, yeah. I was, hey, Joellen, your buddy Ward asking you, what's the status? They have all the concept already. Just it's a money issue.
Always is. Always is.
This is great.
Recently, I down that road, and I noticed some new skid marks. So I figured that maybe I should bring it up again.
Well, it's obviously on the to-do list, Jim, but I gotta wait for some funding to fall in place.
No problem. I understand that situation.
Yeah.
This is Harry. I have a comment about that planned turn lane there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't drive very often. My bicycle's, usually the way I travel. I have to go to Walmart or to Lowe's from time to time because I'm a do-it-yourselfer and I need, big stuff that I can't bring home on my bike. So I'm in that area from time to time. For me, trying to leave Lowe's parking lot, make a right on 44, traffic is going to be coming up fast behind me to scoot over into a left turn lane and then make a U-turn into oncoming traffic is much more hazardous than driving to the traffic light, waiting for traffic. I know I got to maybe wait a little bit longer, and then making the turn onto 44, going home at the traffic light. I really do not understand how this can possibly be a safety improvement for anybody that wants to leave Lowe's and make a left turn onto 44. I just don't understand it. So anyways, that's my comment for there. To me, it doesn't make any safety sense, and it basically violates most of the concepts of safety by trying to have people turn into flowing traffic and then veer across the lanes and then turn into oncoming traffic instead of turning at a traffic light. That's a comment.
There has been several accidents up there, Harry, and one fatality that I'm aware of. There may have been more up in that area. Yes, I understand your situation going over the other way, but when you're coming out of that driveway, the west driveway of Lowe's, you kind of got to go that way.
Yes,
so the fatality we had, the fatality that we had in that location was not due to the Lowe's or a vehicle traveling in that area. It was completely unrelated. And anybody that wants to go back towards Inverness after leaving that area, they should be utilizing that traffic light. That's what it's for. You really, I mean, it violates all traffic laws if you try to exit Lowe's and cross directly all the way to the left lane to make a U-turn to go the opposite direction. So that fatality was not, it had nothing to do with Lowe's. It actually had to do with a fruit stand that was parking down on the right side of the roadway and vehicles crossing to go to the fruit stand.
That's exactly what I'm trying to make too. Thank you.
All right, very good. Any other new business? Like I said, I do have one I'd like to bring up, but I'll ask if anyone else has anything.
Hey, Walt, this is George.
Yes, George.
Hey, just one other update, and I know there's still a lot of law enforcement on the meeting, but Sergeant Armstead and Lieutenant Dolan, I did send you emails, and your commanders are as well aware. Tomorrow we'll be coming up to Citrus and Hernando counties for our new law enforcement engagement meeting kickoff for what we're going to do here through District 7 for traffic safety enforcement. So make sure all law enforcement agencies are there, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 at the Brooksville field office.
Yes, sir. I've got that email, and I actually have it on my calendar, so I will see you there.
And Laura, that's open. You know, it would be helpful. I don't know if Citrus has a DUI squad or not, like some of the bigger metropolises do, but it's a good opportunity for DUI squads to be involved with as well.
That I will be the I'm the traffic sergeant, so that'll come from me down to my guys.
Okay.
So yeah, we're looking.
I didn't know. I mean, just every.
To it.
Great.
Great. We look forward to having you there.
Thank you, sir. And you said that was at 1:30 because I believe your original email said 1 o'clock.
You know what? Let me double check as we started.
Since you said that, we're both looking at our calendars.
Somebody talk about something else, and I'll double check that.
Mine shows 1:30.
Yeah, 1:30 to 3:30.
Sounds great.
1:30, Laura. And Laura, it says from 1:30 to 3:30. Typically, that we just allotted 2 hours for the room in case we needed it that long, but it shouldn't last that long.
45 minutes the most.
No worries. Sounds great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right.
And Walt, if you want, I'll lead that into with the traffic fatalities for this month.
Well, before you do that, I want to just bring up my one item.
Okay.
I have a this goes to Citrus County SO Deputy Anstead. I'm going to be meeting with the Pine Ridge equestrian community this evening. One of their big issues is if they're out riding horseback, getting near the road, cars naturally are speeding on Pine Ridge Boulevard and Mustang. So there's a lot of concern about vehicles speeding through their community or in their community. They have, I believe, 5 crossings on Pine Ridge and 2 on Mustang. I wasn't going to say anything to them until I spoke to them first, but I was wondering if there's any possibility of, again, getting your message boards out at a few of those crossings periodically about alerting motorists to, horse crossing or something to that effect.
Yes, well, actually, I have already started that. I started that process about 2 months ago in the same message board that I have at Black Diamond.
Yes.
It was actually out in Pine Ridge for 2.5 months at the crossings. And we've discussed it. We work regular traffic out there. There's a speeding issue out there, but there's a speeding issue on most of the roadways in the state of Florida. So we're working to give it the attention we can. And that message board, I take it out there as often as I can. The next placement for it, I have it set up, which I'll be taking it when I take it from Black Diamond, is going down to the actual stables down close to that area.
Perfect.
I myself have talked to several of the residents there, and they've let me in on some issues going on in that area. So that's where it's headed for next. And they're always at the top of my list. Pine Ridge, they're always at the top of my list. So yeah, that's not really a new thing for us.
Okay.
So yeah, they're definitely on our concern, and that message board is a great tool out there. And I have no problem putting it out there. It'll be out there more.
Hey, Walt, this is Mike.
I saw your email.
Mike, yeah, it just might be another tool to put in your toolbox in case you want to bring that up, which we, with justification and everything else, I can supply that material to you.
Yeah, Mike, being quite honest, they don't have anywhere near the volume.
Okay.
Yeah. The issue really is that people are just, as the deputy mentioned, the people are just flying all over these roads. So
They were doing it when I was working up there for 30 years, all over Pine Ridge and Citrus Springs.
I know, but I do appreciate the information, Deputy Anstead. At least this way it gives me some insight as to what's already been done and what's ongoing. When I meet with those folks tonight, I at least go in with that in my back pocket.
Hey, Walt, this is Lieutenant Ball.
Yes, sir.
Captain Noby had a meeting with them. I don't know if it was equestrian, but it was definitely the HOA that was out there. It was about a month and a half ago, and it was discussed about how they had that trailer out there. They loved it. They just they wanted it out there permanently. So that's just not an option. I had talked to Mike Zinn about possibility of getting, he had some equipment which are speed limit signs that had the radar readouts, and that was one of the areas that we were looking at, as well as Miss Maggie, to help with those two frequent flyer areas for us.
Right.
And he asked me to get with you about possibility of the maintenance part of it and installing them, if that was an option.
Well, let me meet with these folks tonight and hear what they have to say, and then I'll bring their concerns back here to the folks here in the office. And again, with all this information, knowing that a lot of this has been going on over time, it's all good information. So we'll go see where we go from here after we have our meeting.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Hey, Walt, do you want this added to the locations list, or just as
not yet. No, this was just more informational, and I'm very pleased to hear that that's actually been being tackled for quite a while. So, yeah, no, we'll wait and see what comes out of it. Very good. Okay, Mike, you have some stats for us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Total traffic fatalities for Citrus County this year so far is at 5, and for Hernando County, 7. On pedestrian fatalities for Citrus County, we've had 2 so far this year, and 0 for Hernando. Bicycle fatalities this year in Citrus is 1, and Hernando is 0. And motorcycle fatalities has been 0 for Citrus and 1 for Hernando, and that's as of yesterday's stats.
Very good. Well, all unfortunate situations for sure.
Yes, they are. And I've been trying to lately, Walt, when these come in from FHP or whatever, I've been trying to get you in them as soon as they come to me, and I've been trying to inform Sergeant Laura and Lieutenant Ball as soon as I get them from FHP. So hopefully, when they first happen, I know it's a good idea to put your eyes on them as soon as it happens, to go out there and see if there's something that jumps out at you, instead of waiting a year down the road or 5 months down the road, and then you go out there and you don't see anything. So
right.
Hopefully that's, with that information getting out as quickly as possible, the locals, you guys, as well as Public Works or whoever, can get out there and see if there was something else that might have caused the problem.
Right.
Yes.
And I do
So as far,
thanks, Mike.
as far as the data on citrus, I know with the way data processes, it takes a while to get all the completions and get through the chains and back to everybody. Citrus, I do believe the most up to date on pedestrians, we're at 5. And we just had another vehicle versus pedestrian Saturday night. And he's currently in Ocala Regional. They're trying to reach out to family to make some decisions. He's eventually going to be pronounced. It's just a matter of whether or not it happens within that 30 days to qualify for certain data processing. So we experienced, I believe, 4 within the first 2 or 3 weeks of the year. And again, our efforts down with the geofencing at 19 and Cardinal were a big part of the issue, and we immediately started addressing it with enforcement. 44 and Crystal River has proved to be a little bit of a challenge right there too, and it's become a priority for us. So we've got some pedestrian bicycle issues going on this year that are kind of bumping our stats up, but we're on it already and doing our best to work on it.
And Laura, if you want to give me a call on a side note or side meeting down the road here about your 44 and US 19 issue, I'll certainly entertain, providing some assistance up in that direction for you guys if you want to do that.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I'm not sure that I have your phone number though. Are you able to put it in the chat for me? Or an email?
It's on the screen that you look at right now. I can't type. I'm on a big room thing here, multi.
Oh, got it. Yep.
Yeah, that's
big
my
elephant
office.
in the room right there.
Yeah, it's highlighted in blue. Somebody did.
Yeah, I got it right.
Good, thanks, Laura. Walt, I got one other thing I want to bring up as an announcement, I guess, is about our mega meeting in April.
We'll move on to item number 7, open forum and announcements. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm looking at the wrong piece of paper. Almost scattered. Whatever. You there?
Yeah, you have the floor.
Okay. Just got quiet. I said, oh, I hung it up again or something. Our mega meeting in April, everybody agreed to do this mega meeting with all the other CTSTs. It's pretty much said it's going to happen. It's going to be in Pasco County. Laura and Andrea and Melissa are working on the flyer to come out with that. Some of the items that we would like to is have each team share with what they're working with, of course, and what's not working. If you've got issues that's not been working, to bring that up, because you might mention something that, give you an example, that you have an issue with a certain road or whatever, a certain issue, and if it's discussed in this big meeting, Pinellas County might say, well, we've had that issue and this is how we took care of it. So yeah, it's a good point for everybody to share information and try to get this program aimed at doing a vision 0 or target 0, whatever we want to call this, so that we're all on the same page working towards the same goal, and that's to save lives. And that's the primary reason we're trying to do this and see how it works out. And shoot, if it works well, we might do this once a year or more often if every team decides to do it. So you don't know until we try, and that's what everybody's looking forward to.
Very good.
But that's all I got on that.
Okay. Anyone else have any announcements? No? All right. With that in mind, I will go ahead and announce our next meeting, which will be on March 9th, 2022. It'll be in person. Melissa, do we know where it's at?
No, we do not. We need to have a location for this meeting on March 9th.
Where was our last one at, Walt? Do you remember?
Was it at the DOT office?
No, wasn't it in Citrus?
I thought it was
I want
Citrus.
to say our last one was in Citrus,
Yeah, okay, so this one will be in Hernando DOT office?
in Brooksville. Yeah, in Brooksville DOT office.
Okay. All right, so then our next in-person meeting will be March 9th, 2022, in Brooksville at the DOT office at 1:30.
Very good.
I'll get the calendar updated with the location information.
Very good. And with that, I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. And once again, thank everyone for being here. Great meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you, Walt.
All right. All right, be safe out there. Thank you.
Thank you.